What's up everyone? So for the longest time, Canon's R6 lineup has been sitting in this really interesting spot. Great hybrid cameras, amazing autofocus, strong photo performance, solid video features, but if you were a serious video creator or filmmaker, there was always this gap between the R6 series and Canon's actual cinema cameras. Like, yeah, the regular R6 cameras could shoot great video, but they still felt like hybrid-first cameras trying to handle cinema work afterward. But now, yeah, Canon just changed that completely. Canon has officially launched the camera, and honestly, this thing looks like Canon finally made a camera specifically for video creators who don't want to jump all the way up to a giant cinema rig. We're talking internal 7K RAW recording, open gate shooting, uncropped 4K 120 FPS, built-in active cooling, Canon Log 2, professional monitoring tools, iBice, dual card slots, and a lightweight full-frame body that still stays compact enough for handheld setups, travel rigs, and gimbal work. And honestly, this doesn't feel like a slightly upgraded R6 anyone. This feels like Canon looked directly at cameras like Sony's FX line, Panasonic's S-series, Nikon's newer creator-focused bodies, and basically said, all right, it's our turn now. So yeah, today we're breaking down everything new about the Canon R6 V, what makes this camera different, who it's actually for, and honestly, why this might end up becoming one of Canon's most important creator cameras in years. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and let's get into it. Now, first up, the biggest thing you notice immediately with the R6V is that Canon clearly designed this thing for video-first creators. Because unlike the regular R6 series, this camera doesn't even have an EVF. There's no electronic viewfinder at all, and there's also no mechanical shutter. Canon basically stripped out a lot of traditional hybrid camera stuff in order to focus almost entirely on video performance, creator workflows, cooling, portability, and professional production tools. And honestly, at first, that might sound kinda weird, but when you think about how modern creators actually shoot now, it starts making way more sense. A huge percentage of creators today are already shooting with external monitors, cages, flip-out screens, gimbals, handheld rigs, or fully solo setups anyway. Most people filming YouTube, weddings, documentaries, commercial work, or social content barely touch the EVF anymore. So instead of trying to be everything at once, Canon made the R6V unapologetically creator-focused, and honestly, that's probably the smartest thing they could have done. Now, at the center of the whole thing is a new 32.5 megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor paired with Canon's latest Digic X processor. And yeah, this thing unlocks some serious video specs, because the headline feature here is internal 7K 60 FPS RAW light recording. That's massive. And on top of that, the camera also supports 7K 30 FPS open gate recording, which is honestly becoming one of the most important features for modern creators right now. Because creators aren't just shooting traditional YouTube videos anymore. People are filming for shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, client work, vertical ads, documentaries, cinematic edits, all from the same camera. And OpenGate gives you way more flexibility for reframing later without sacrificing resolution. So Canon finally bringing OpenGate into this camera is honestly a really big deal. Now, of course, whenever a camera starts throwing around specs like 7K RAW and 4K 120 FPS, everybody immediately asks the same question. Okay, but how long before it overheats? And this is where the EOS R6 V gets really interesting, because Canon added a built-in active cooling fan directly into the body. Yeah, actual active cooling. And according to Canon, this thing can basically keep recording until your memory card fills up. They're claiming up to around 6 hours of continuous recording in demanding modes, depending on the settings and environment. That is a huge shift compared to older Canon overheating conversations. Like, remember when overheating basically became the entire internet discussion around the original EOS R5? Yeah, Canon clearly learned from that situation, and honestly, active cooling completely changes how practical this camera becomes for real-world work. Wedding filmmakers, interviews, podcasts, events, documentaries, long-form YouTube productions, run-and-gun content, travel filmmaking, all of that suddenly becomes way more reliable when you're not constantly worried about thermal limits. And speaking of video performance, yes, the R6V also shoots uncropped 4K 120 FPS internally, which honestly is probably going to end up being one of the most used modes on this camera. Because cinematic slow motion is basically everywhere now. Automotive footage, sports content, travel videos, product B-roll, YouTube intros, commercial work, everybody uses slow motion now. And Canon finally delivering proper uncropped 4K 120 with active cooling makes this camera way more competitive against Sony and Panasonic than older R-series bodies were. Now, Canon color science has always been one of Canon's biggest strengths, and that continues here too. The R6V supports Canon Log 2 with up to 15 stops of dynamic range. And honestly, Canon footage still has that cinematic look people love. Skin tones, highlight roll-off, overall color response, Canon usually nails that stuff. And for creators who actually shoot professionally, Canon also included a bunch of real cinema-style production tools now. We're getting waveform monitors, false color, timecode support, advanced monitoring tools, and proper production-focused features creators genuinely care about. And honestly, this is another sign that Canon wants this camera sitting somewhere between the standard R series and their Cinema EOS lineup. Because this isn't just good video for a photo camera anymore, this is a real creator production tool now. Now, another huge feature here is stabilization. The R6V includes 5-axis IEBIS rated up to 7.5 stops, which honestly is kind of insane for handheld shooting. And this matters a lot because the whole philosophy of this camera feels built around portability. The body only weighs around 598 grams. That's incredibly light for a full-frame camera capable of internal 7K RAW recording with active cooling. So imagine pairing this with a compact lens on a gimbal, handheld vlog setup, car rig, travel setup, or lightweight production cage. That portability becomes a really big advantage. And Canon also announced a brand new lens alongside the camera, the RF 20-50mm f4 LIS USM-PZ. And honestly, this lens feels almost perfectly designed for the R6V's creator-focused identity. You've got a constant f4 aperture, built-in stabilization, compact lightweight construction, motorized power zoom, and remote zoom control support. And that power zoom feature especially is going to matter for solo creators doing interviews, live streams, product videos, vlogging, or commercial work where smooth zoom transitions matter. Now, autofocus here is exactly what you'd expect from modern Canon. The R6V uses dual pixel CMOS BF2 with subject tracking for people, animals, and vehicles. And honestly, Canon autofocus is already one of the biggest reasons creators stay inside Canon's ecosystem. Reliable autofocus matters more now than ever because so many creators are filming themselves solo without dedicated camera operators. And Canon's tracking system has consistently been one of the easiest autofocus systems to trust in real-world shooting. Now, the pricing here is honestly what surprised us the most. The EOS R6V launches at $2,499 body only, which honestly feels very aggressive considering what Canon is offering here, because this actually makes the R6V cheaper than the standard EOS R6 Mark III while delivering significantly stronger video-focused features. And honestly, that pricing tells you exactly what Canon is trying to do. They don't want this to be some ultra-expensive niche cinema tool. They want creators to actually buy this thing in large numbers, especially YouTubers, filmmakers, wedding shooters, documentary creators, commercial videographers, travel filmmakers, content creators, basically anybody who needs serious video capability without stepping all the way into full cinema camera territory. Now, obviously, this camera won't be for everybody. If you're primarily a stills photographer, the missing EVF and lack of mechanical shutter might immediately push you toward the regular R6 lineup instead. But honestly, that's kind of the point. Canon isn't trying to make the R6V the perfect hybrid camera. They're trying to make a killer creator camera. And from what we've seen so far, they may have nailed it. Because right now, the creator camera market is getting insanely competitive. Sony, Panasonic, Nikon, Blackmagic, everybody's fighting for creators right now. And the EOS R6V feels like Canon finally stepping into that fight properly instead of halfway. So yeah, overall, the EOS R6 V honestly looks like one of Canon's most exciting creator-focused cameras in years. Internal 7K RAW, open gate recording, uncropped 4K 120, active cooling, professional video tools, strong autofocus, IEBIS, lightweight design, and aggressive pricing. That combination is going to attract a lot of creators. But alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Let us know down in the comments, would you actually take the EOS R6 V over something like a Sony FX3, Panasonic S-Series, or Nikon's newer creator-focused cameras? Because honestly, Canon just made this conversation way more interesting now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more camera and tech content like this, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.